April 7th, 2009 is an important day because in ancient America, spring is the start of a new year. There is a full moon out tonight. In the Mayan calendar round system and other later Central American calendar systems, their traditions tell of 5 or 6 unlucky days when it was believed that earthquakes, fire, smoke, destruction would come. If it didn't, they were given another 52 years or so lease on life. The fairy god of ancient America was expected to return during a time of troubles. Before this, their records were hidden to one day be restored. The wounded wanderer of ancient American times was marked by Manik, a wounded, grasping hand symbol. This symbol rolled around on the wheels of the calendar round until it eventually matched up with a line with 2 dots for the number 7. Day 7. A new year. 7 Manik. The wounded hand grasping symbol for the day 7 of a new year. In 3rd Nephi 8:5 of the Book of Mormon, we read that in the 34th year, in the 1st month, 4th day, a mighty storm arose that sounds like a volcano erupted in the ancient Americas. Archaeologists have discovered a layer of ash in Central America that dates back to this time. They know that this volcano erupted around the springtime because of the new spring plants were starting to grow, and these were preserved in this layer of ash. The Book of Mormon goes on to tell how that there were sharp lightnings. Some were sunk, mountains buried others, and a number of others caught fire. The people could hear the earth groaning. Whirlwinds swept others away. The rocks were broken up, and a vapor of darkness covered the land for about 3 days and nights. All vital signs and characteristics of a volcano eruption. About 3 days later, from the 4th day that this started, or 7 Manik, by the Mayan calendar round system, the fair wounded hand god of ancient America appears somewhere in the Americas during his worldwide trek. In the Book of Mormon, on about the 7th day of New Year, they hear a voice from heaven telling them that their sins and the rejection of the prophets, and how that they had let secret combinations infiltrate their government, had caused their destruction. One of the cities burned was because, quote, of their sins and their wickedness, which was above all the wickedness of the whole earth, because of their secret murders and combinations. For it was they that did destroy the peace of my people, and their government of the land. 3 Nephi 9:9. Towards the end of that year, the 34th year, writes Nephi in 3 Nephi 10:18 through 19, the Lord Jesus Christ descends out of heaven to his other sheep, or people. Christ, having been busy visiting different parts of the world during his post-resurrection victory march throughout the world, according to early Christian writings, artworks, and apologetics, now, from chapter 11 on, it was the people gathered at the temple of Bountiful who would become witnesses to the resurrected and powerful Son of God, Jesus Christ. He descends at the temple and starts showing them his wounds, inviting the people to grasp his hands with their hands, just like the 7 Manik symbol and other grasping hand symbols of ancient American art show wounded hands being grasped.
Central and Southern Mexico and Northern Central America. And that's the deity that the Aztecs called Quetzalcoatl, or the Maya called Kukulkan. This was a deity of life, of health, of the heavens, of resurrection, and many of the teachings surrounding him have parallels, at least, to those teachings of Jesus the Christ. When the Spaniards first arrived with Cortez in 1519 and began their move into the Aztec capital, that the Aztecs themselves were prevented from attacking them in force because of a very powerful tradition concerning this deity Quetzalcoatl. This deity was to return from the east. He was to be fair-skinned and bearded. It was a discovery by a man by the name of Dennis Clausen, who lives in the river and he was working with the computer program that deals with the famous Mayan long count calendar of ancient Mesoamerica. And he knew that according to the traditions from Mesoamerica, that the god Quetzalcoatl was born on a day 1 reed in the ritual calendar of that area. And so he decided to see how close a day 1 reed would turn up at about the time of the birth of Christ, to see if there was any kind of a correlation there between the birth date for Quetzalcoatl and the actual date of Christ. And what he found out was a little bit startling to me. He found out that on the day 1 reed and in the month of 6 Mac, that this fell on April the 6th, 1 BC, in the long count calendar. And this is startling because this is, of course, exactly the day that had been picked by those who believe in the Book of Mormon to be 1 BC. And then there's no 0 year, and so the first year that would be 1 AD, the completion of the first year of his life. But some of the early traditions, for example, of people coming in ancient times, and there's 2 or 3 of the Spanish writers who wrote of this, as well as some of the native Indian princes who wrote the history of their people. And they say that many 400 years ago, that people came from the east in ships, and that they go on to say that these people were the people of the serpent, meaning the believers in what became the deity Quetzalcoatl. And we have a very nice monument at a site called Valencia in Tabasco, Mexico, that dates from about the 6th century BC, and on it has a large rattlesnake with the priest sitting in the middle of the snake, holding a kind of a sacred bucket in his hand, and above him are 2 Quetzal birds, and then the priest is also wearing the serpent helmet on his head. So this is obviously indicating people who worshipped Quetzalcoatl, or at least the symbolism there, the Quetzal birds and the snake. And these stories go on to say that these people settled, and that this was a god of health, of life, of birth and rebirth, of the heavens. And later we see probably the first appearances of, say, major structures, architectural structures occurring at, say, places like Teotihuacan early in its history, where human sacrifice is not part of the picture at this time. To mention one tradition that we recorded by the Spanish priest who worked in the state of Oaxaca, and he refers to, this is Juan de Cordova. He was a friar in Oaxaca, and he says that a story was told to the Spaniards shortly after the conquest in Oaxaca. So on the day we call Tecpatl, the Aztec name for the day sign flint knife, a great light came from the northeastern sky. It glowed for 4 days in the sky and then lowered itself to a rock. The rock can still be seen in Tenochtitlan del Valle in Oaxaca. From the light there came a great and very powerful being who stood on the very top of the rock and glowed like the sun in the sky. There he stood for all to see, shining day and night. Then he spoke. His voice was like thunder booming across the valley. He told us how to pray, fixed for us days of fast, days of feasting. He then balanced the book of days and left vowing that he would always watch down upon his beloved people. And that, I think, is a very interesting tradition coming directly from the Zapotec Indians of the state of Oaxaca, ancient Mexico.